Hi everybody. I'm going to try to do this on my phone because I'm not having much luck. I was thinking that I would talk about doorknob communications today because last week I had a very classic textbook doorknob communication. I was running a group. I came into the group, it was a processing group. I came in and there was one guy who was just lying on the floor with his feet right by the leader's chair. So I just, kind of casually, with not much affect, asked him if he could please get up. And he got up and he was muttering a little bit. And we started the group. After a few minutes, he went out, which wasn't really surprising because this particular client I haven't had many groups or interactions with. But whenever I did have a group, he's just quiet. So to have him walk out wasn't really super crazy. And I had kind of just woken him up before, pretty much, it seems like, because he was just lying there on the floor. Anyways, we were going around the circle and the clients were processing and people were offering support. And then after a while, towards the end of group, he came back in and sat somewhat close to me, because that's where an empty seat was. And then I got to him and I asked him if he had anything to process. And first he was like, nah. And then he's like, no, actually I do. So I'm like, great, what would you like to process? And so he started off, he's like, I am so disappointed at myself. I feel like I am such a piece of dirt. I'm so mad at myself. He was really putting himself down. And it's like, well, I was waiting for him to talk, let him get it out, and I was going to, try to help him process it to get a little bit to a better place, because I'm a dirt, because I should have gotten so much more out of this place. I should have done the work, but instead I was just disrespectful. I was disrespectful to the other people who are here, to get treatment, and I was disrespectful to the staff, and I didn't take it seriously, and now I'm leaving, and I wish I had gotten more done. And also, I just found out a couple of days ago that my father is not my biological father, and I know who my biological father is, and I feel like I just completely wrecked my family by finding this out. I should never have found out who my father was, but since I found it out, now my mother's life is in danger and everything's terrible. So anyways, he said that, and it was actually the end of the group. I had to even allow people to leave because it was the end of the group, but I said, whoever wanted to stay and help process him, please do. I want to stay and process with him. So some people stayed, some people left, and we tried to process it. We tried to, get him to a little bit of a better place, that he can still do the work. He's not a piece of dirt. He has a lot of worth and everything. And he can continue in his next place working with people to, get where he needs to be. He is going to be seeing a therapist. He's going to IOP, which is a lower level of treatment, but still some treatment. And more importantly, we tried to process the whole adoption piece, because I think that was what was newer here. The casework had, he had a plan, a discharge plan and everything, and he was going to hopefully he's going to follow it. But the adoption thing he'd only known about for a few days, and I think we were the first people he told. So we tried to, process that and explain, show him how he was catastrophizing it, that just because he now knows does not mean that his parents did not, his biological father, his non-biological father, his mother, and the whole family did not know it, and that things could be better than he thought that they could be, and there's lots of different possibilities. And more important, and also that it's not his fault, that it's a perfectly valid need to know who your parents are, and he didn't do anything wrong. And then I walked out with him, and I told him, I was talking to him as he was leaving also, just to make sure he was okay. And I had, all along, we've been telling him also he should go talk to his therapist. I texted his therapist just to make sure that she would speak to him. And she did speak to him. I checked with her later. And she said the same thing. There's not much you can do about it at that point, but it was just a classic doorknob moment. I think he had known about it for a few days, and he only managed to talk about it once he knew that he was literally out the door of my fieldwork agency. So my question for everybody is, have you had similar situations, and what is the best way you think that you can handle it all to make sure that the client gets some help? Have a great week. Thanks.